Right now at noon, a Joplin teen has been named as the driver in the fatal Galena, Kansas hit and run.
And we've got our alert days continuing through Friday for dangerous heat out there with excessive heat warnings. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
Plus, a highway shuts down as a dump truck full of gravel spills its load across the interstate. We'll have the messy details.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on KOAM News at Noon. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy, and today's top story. A man is facing charges after a missing and endangered child from Indiana was found in Commerce, Oklahoma. According to a release from the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, 29-year-old Jonathan Eliezer Miranda Juarez was arrested on charges of first-degree rape, possession of child pornography, and harboring a juvenile runaway. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol received information regarding an endangered missing advisory. They received a tip that a suspect vehicle was located in Commerce. Troopers and the Commerce Police Department went to the location and found the child. Juarez was booked into the Ottawa County Jail. A federal hold has been placed on the suspect, pending additional charges. And a Joplin teenager has been identified as the driver allegedly behind a fatal hit and run near Galena over the weekend. The Kansas Highway Patrol have located the vehicle and driver involved in a fatal hit and run crash where a local man on foot died. According to security footage late Saturday night at 11:24 p.m., a Ford Raptor pickup struck and killed a man who was walking eastbound on K66 in Galena, Kansas. The pedestrian was 6-year-old Gary Wayne LaTurner of Galena. His daughter says a lot of people have been reaching out to the family.
I mean, hundreds of people have contacted me that I've never even met that have a crazy or funny story about my dad, and it's really shown me with how many shares things have gotten that this town wanted justice for my father just as much as me and my family.
Gary was a fixture in the community. Ever since I was a little kid, he's walked around town, and every time he sees the kids out and about throughout town, he'll stop by and entertain them for a little bit.
KHP says they have found the suspect vehicle and driver. The driver was identified as a 17-year-old male from Joplin. KHP did not indicate that he was arrested, and no charges have been formally filed. Authorities are looking for a man and woman in connection with an incident involving a gunfire in Frontenac, Kansas Friday evening. It began at 212 West Lincoln Street, where resident Kenneth Phillips says his motorcycle had been pushed over and someone fled in a white SUV. Phillips says as he ran after the SUV, the driver, 28-year-old Sage Sprague of Pittsburgh, rolled down his window and fired a shot at Phillips in the yard of 601 Mount Carmel Road. Phillips was not hurt. Authorities have since found the suspect's vehicle in Cherokee, Kansas. They're still looking for Sprague and his suspected passenger, 27-year-old Kristen Romsberg of Weir, Kansas. An SUV collided with a dump truck carrying gravel yesterday, causing the roadway on 249 to be completely shut down as cleanup crews scrambled to clear the debris. About 2:40 p.m. Monday, reports of a crash along the SB 249 over Turkey Creek and Dunweg, Missouri, alerted Jasper County 911. On scene, we learned a dump truck loaded with gravel was traveling south when a Chevy Tahoe changed lanes, striking the dump truck, causing it to swerve and spill its load, which resulted in the entire road being covered with gravel. 30-year-old Brianna De La Cruz of Joplin was driving the 2009 Chevy Tahoe. The SUV suffered extensive damage but was driven from the scene. She was not injured. The driver of the 2020 Peterbilt dump truck was 61-year-old John Martin of Loma Linda, Missouri. He suffered minor injuries and was transported to a local hospital for treatment. Emergency personnel, along with Schrader's Towing, responded to the scene with heavy equipment to remove the gravel and crashed vehicles. MoDOT was summoned to assist with traffic and traffic control. SB 249 was closed at 7th, forcing everyone to exit. The backup queue of cars was about 1 mile long, blocking traffic for over an hour and a half. Traffic was released to one lane at about 4 p.m. And Chris Warner now joins us for a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we're continuing to deal with alert days all the way through Friday because of the dangerous heat we have across the area. Still have the excessive heat warnings until 10 o'clock Thursday night for southeast Kansas and southwest Missouri, and until 8 p.m. tomorrow for northeast Oklahoma. But again, wouldn't be surprised if those got extended. Yesterday started at 75, well above where we should be, and made it up to 100. So 10 degrees above average and only a couple of degrees off of a record high for us on our Monday. And temperatures already heating up out there. We've got low to mid 90s and upper 90s as you head from east to west. The temperatures increase. 97 Sedan, Neodesha, 96 Parsons, Chanute, 93 Pittsburgh, Lamar, 94 in Joplin, 92 Neosho, Monette, 93 in Miami and Veneta. And here's what it feels like with the high humidity, high dew points. We've got heat index values anywhere from 105 upwards of almost 120. Take a look at Newata at 118, 116 in Independence, feels like 111 in Parsons. Just absolutely dangerous heat across the area, and it's going to continue, but things will eventually get better. So we're continuing the alert days through Friday for that dangerous heat. Heat index values through today still upwards of 120. We're also staying dry the next several days, and we desperately need some more rain in the area. There is relief and even some rain chances on the way. We'll take a look at that full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Students returned today for Diamond School District's first day of classes. To bring awareness of school zone safety, the Diamond Area Fire Protection District stationed themselves outside the school's perimeters. Firefighters will spend the first 2 mornings of class sitting out by the entrances with fire truck and emergency vehicles to help remind drivers that school is back in session. They also want to remind everyone of Missouri's new law that went into effect over the summer. It is now illegal to drive while using your cell phones. All drivers must be hands-free.
Yeah, the entrance and exits are off 59, and the kids do have to walk across 59 at the crosswalk up farther up north.
The fire department has been doing this for over the last 12 years. And a piece of Southwest Missouri history has a new owner. The historic Reddings Mill Inn hit the auction block in Newton County, Missouri yesterday. Built back in 1872, the inn traded hands a few times over the years before ending up with its current owner, who's actually a former owner. Mel Formby sold the property to Andrea Angel in 2014 for $350,000. Andrea Angel died in January 2023, and Mel Formby then bought it again with the final bid going for $380,000. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in the 4 states region. Up next on KOAM News at Noon. One local mother whose son lost his life to fentanyl is spreading awareness of the dangerous drug to help save lives. And later, we're making a sweet treat in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Yesterday was National Fentanyl Prevention and Awareness Day. Law enforcement, the Kansas Congressional Delegation, and community partners are uniting to bring awareness of fentanyl dangers to the state. One mother in Pittsburgh, Kyle Campiti, lost her son Cooper to a fentanyl poisoning in April. She used yesterday to spread awareness to help save lives and honor her son.
I don't want other people to have to do this. You know, I want my husband, who's a special agent for the Kansas Bureau of Investigation, has spent his entire adult career of 20 plus years fighting the war on drugs. And he feels like he lost that battle.
The campaign is #OnePillCanKill. The initiative will continue all week, sharing resources and information about the deadly drug. Jasper County launches an initiative to better understand internet broadband gaps. The results will help the county develop a strategy to improve internet access and connectivity for its residents, businesses, farms, and institutions. The organizers say a critical component of the study is public input, so the County Commission is asking for the public's help to spread the word. If you'd like to participate in the study, head over to KOAMnewsnow.com, where we provided links for businesses and residents. Still to come on KOAM News at Noon, we see what's cooking with Mr. Food.
Today's recipe might not inspire you to speak French, but it will have you saying, ooh la la. Stay Stick around.
But first, we continue with our alert days and dangerous heat across the area as our heat wave continues. Take a look at that forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at Noon. So we continue to deal with dangerous heat across the area. We mentioned this morning, I know that personally we got a message from Joplin Schools saying that recess for elementary school kids not happening the rest of the week because it's too hot. And I imagine there's a number of other districts taking similar precautions because it is too hot. And I was noticing this as we take a look at cameras around the area, it's almost, there's something different. You can almost feel the heat just looking at these cameras. Now, we've seen sunny days on them before, but just something feels different. You can almost feel the heat radiating off of this. Of course, this is the MoDOT camera at 32nd in range line and the MoDOT camera at US 60 Missouri 59 Neosho, looking again back to the east toward Lusk Drive. See what I mean? There's just something about it. You can feel the heat. Even our camera here at the KOAM studios just north of Crestline. And with our camera here, one thing that is handy, you can see that's not fog. This is the haze, and there's even a tint, a little tinge to the sky from all of the moisture that's out there. And a quick look at the KDOT camera at US 69 and East 528th Avenue, just south of Pittsburgh. Same thing. It's a little easier to see along the tree line off in the distance, but you can see that haze out there. That is just how thick the air is. It's like walking into a swimming pool. That's what our news director said yesterday, and she's absolutely right. It's like walking into the water. You almost need scuba gear to get by with how thick the air is. And we have the excessive heat warnings again through Thursday at 10 o'clock for Kansas and Missouri. And as we've mentioned, Tulsa playing this 2 days at a time. So the excessive heat warning in northeast Oklahoma now goes until 8 p.m. tonight and resumes tomorrow until 8 p.m. as well. But again, wouldn't be surprised if it continues to get extended as we deal with the heat. But as I mentioned, there's some good news down the road. We're going to get to that in just a moment. Unfortunately, we're not there yet. We are 94 in Joplin. Sunny skies, and if you look, you can still see kind of that tint to the sky from the moisture out there. Feels like 108 with a dew point of 77, humidity at 58%. So our humidity is down just a bit from yesterday, and that's helping a little, but not by much. We're at 93 in Pittsburgh, sunny skies, 105 is what it feels like, that dew point of 76. And temperatures around the area from east to west, it gets hotter. So we've got 94 Stockton, Carthage, 92 Monette, 90 in Nevada, and then we go 96 Parsons, Chanute, 92 Iola, 97 Neodesha, Sedan, and 96 in Independence, 93 Miami, Veneta. And we factor in the dew points, which again are at just incredible levels as they're in the upper 70s and into the 80s. And look at Nowata. We're talking 86 for the dew point. And that is beyond this chart. We are in the miserable range, which is above where Soupy would be. And because of that, take a look at the heat index in Nowata. 118 is what it feels like. 111 Parsons, Chatopa, 113 Neodesha, 116 Independence, 110 Lamar, feels like 114. Even though it's a little cooler in Stockton, with the dew point, feels like 114. So we are talking still significant heat index values, and that will continue. They're going to reach their peak later this evening. Look at Miami, 123, Miami and Grove, and this is midnight. And these are like mid-afternoon temperatures. Heat index values still in the low 90s. We're going to repeat this process again tomorrow at the peak heating of the day. Heat index values 105 to 115, so slightly better. And as we head into our Thursday, again, 105, 110, 115 common out there. And this is why. We don't usually show you this travel map, but it's the best way to show you what's going on. There are a lot out here. We have this dome of high pressure right over us, and you can see where this heat reaches all the way up into the Dakotas and Minnesota, and that's why it's just pulling in all this moisture, all this heat, and keeping everything away from us. So again, just make sure you stay hydrated, limit those outdoor activities, wear the lightweight, light-colored clothes, check on elderly pets and children, and if you don't have to be outside, of course, don't be, because heat exhaustion likely, heat stroke quite possible out there. Still looking at highs today, upper 90s, lower 100s out there with a light southerly breeze, and as we go through the evening, we are hot and clear, so rather unpleasant out there. Now I wanted to tell you the good news. And here's where it comes. As we head toward the end of the week, yes, we're still in the triple digits. However, our humidity and dew point levels start to fall back a little bit as we head toward Friday. So by the time we get to Friday, we're looking at heat index values of only a couple 3 degrees higher. So it's still hot. I'm not saying it's not, but it's considerably better than 120. And then as we head into the weekend, the next week, we have some scattered storm chances Saturday and Sunday into Monday, and our temperatures fall back to much more seasonable, much more manageable levels as we go back into the mid upper 80s and some lower 90s out there. But we've still got to get from here to there, and it's going to feel like it's taken forever.
It's bad. I've never experienced any kind of weather like this before.
It's pretty nasty out there.
Very bad. Well, stick around because we're making crepes in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. It's time to check in with Howard and the Mr. Food Kitchen staff. Today he's making shortcut fruit crepes. Take a look.
Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. Je m'appelle Henri. Today, we're making crepes with a south of the border twist. Since these aren't truly French, I guess I can take off the beret. Confused? It'll all make sense once I show you. The challenge of making traditional French crepe lies in the batter. It can be tricky to get the consistency just so. However, with the crepes we're making today, we don't have to worry about that. You see, rather than making the batter from scratch, we dip flour tortillas in a mixture of eggs, milk, sugar, cinnamon, and vanilla. Once they're moist, onto the griddle or skillet they go. We brown them on both sides, which just takes minutes. And unlike authentic crepes, every one of these will turn out picture perfect. After all the tortillas have been dipped and browned, we fill them with berries before rolling them up. Top them with a dollop of whipped cream and a bit of powdered sugar, and done. There you have it, a fancy looking French crepe with a tasty shortcut twist. To get the recipe for what we call our shortcut fruit crepes, all you have to do is visit our website. You know, since they do look authentic, I think I'll wear the beret after all. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a raccourci, which in French means shortcut way, for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
To find this recipe along with many others, just head over to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com and click on Mr. Food. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, we've got ourselves, again, alert days through Friday, triple digits, 120-degree heat index values today. They do gradually drop off a little bit over the next few days, but still dangerous heat. And then we finally see some relief this weekend. Showers and thunderstorms possible in the evening. Temperatures upper 80s, lower 90s. We just got to get from here to there.
Right. Absolutely. Thanks, Chris. And Dad, what do you have for us this evening?
Well, the FDA approves the first vaccine to protect newborns against RSV. Plus, school bus delays in Joplin are concerning parents trying to keep their kids cool in this dangerous heat. And a new mural is in the works in Fort Scott honoring a special group of soldiers. Hope you'll join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up today on KOAM News at 5.
All right, and thank you for joining us here at KOAM News at noon. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock, and Chris and I will see you tomorrow morning.